Okay, a video about how I can do all my jobs and stay energetic. I wonder what I should talk about. What's up guys, it's Avery here. On one of my recent videos, someone left a comment saying how I'm able to work all the jobs that I do with my 9 to 5 plus my 2 side businesses while being able to stay upbeat. This person also said that after they're done with their 9 to 5 that they're typically extremely tired, so I wanted to address that in this video as well. For the video, I'm going to separate it into 3 chapters and you can skip around however you'd like, and at first I'm going to talk about why you may be tired after that 9 to 5. At second, I'm going to go over the jobs that I have and how I'm able to manage them. And third, I'm going to talk about mentally how I'm able to stay on track without sacrificing any health or sleep. Before we do that though, one of my jobs is content creation, and I try to get in front of as many people in the audience as possible. And one way that I can do that is by asking you to like the video. So I'd really appreciate it if you would do that, because then YouTube pushes it out to more people and they can hopefully benefit from the content that I make. First, I'm going to address why you may be tired from working that 9 to 5 job and you feel like as soon as you get home all you want to do is essentially nothing. And that first of 2 reasons would be because you just don't like your job. If you don't enjoy something that you're doing, then you're just not going to want to put a lot of effort into it. It's going to make you feel tired. You're going to feel like it's just mediocre. It's not going to engage you in any type of way, and you're not going to feel passionate about it. So if you're doing something like that, of course it's going to make you feel tired. I'm sure you felt this way with many tasks in your life. Maybe you've read a book and you feel instantly bored, or you read half a page and you start falling asleep. That's because you're just not interested in the material. The same thing isn't any different from the day job that you might have. If you're going to that day job and you're doing that work and it's making you feel tired, it's most likely not an activity that energizes you, which is why you'd be tired. But as soon as you might do something that makes you excited or makes you happy or something you're passionate about, you probably have this sudden burst of energy, or at least I know I do. Sometimes I can be absolutely exhausted, and it could come to the evening where it's typically when I'm doing my mentorship or coaching calls, talking about personal finance, investing in real estate, helping people buy their first rental. And then as soon as I hop on that call and start talking to that person, I'm energetic, I'm engaged, I'm extremely excited, and then come the end of the call, I'm still feeling that way and I'm just absolutely buzzing, which isn't always the case when someone is working at a 9 to 5 job that they don't enjoy. I like to think about it from this perspective. When I was growing up in school, I really didn't enjoy school that much. I always had an inkling for learning and I really enjoyed learning, but a lot of the material I didn't find that cool. So school really was just a place where I felt pretty bored. But there were those few days of the year at school where you had a field trip. You wake up in the morning, you're excited, it's a new and different day, you're going to go out into the field and learn something physically with your hands, see it, touch it, whatever it may be, rather than just sitting in a classroom and doing something where you just have to memorize it and then regurgitate it. And always on those days when we had field trips, I was extremely excited. One place that I absolutely loved going, and my favorite day of the year every single year, was Science World. Science World is a really cool place in Vancouver, and it's a place that I always enjoyed going to. Now, I'm not someone who really even enjoys science whatsoever, but I always loved this day. So now imagine if instead of your 9 to 5 being a place like school was for me, where you're kind of bored just doing menial tasks, to where you could be like Science World and you're having fun going there, excited for that day to start. Of course you're going to be energized and far less tired than just doing a menial job. The second reason as to why you may be really tired and feel like you can't do anything outside of your 9 to 5 is because of how you fuel and treat your body. I do a lot of things every single day in order to treat my body well and fuel it so that I can have a good day. I'm always trying to move and work out, go for walks, do some type of meditation, drink a lot of water, all that good stuff. Now, I'm not a professional athlete, nor do I treat my body like someone who might be on the extreme side, like Tom Brady or Cristiano Ronaldo or something like that. I obviously can drink from time to time or have some crappy food, but if you're consistently eating good food, drinking water, working out, you're just going to feel a lot better, create more endorphins for your body, and just naturally have more energy that way. If you're constantly eating crap like Pop-Tarts for breakfast, fast food all the time, that stuff, because it's mainly just sugar and a lot of salt and too much intake of those things, will just make your body shut down and you'll be tired and you'll want to sit on the couch because of what you're eating. Now I'm going to go over the jobs that I have and then how I manage my time within each one and how I'm able to get through the day while still not being tired and actually get things done as well. First, I'm going to talk about my 9 to 5. I work for a small insurance company doing product management, which is a fancy term for when other people are doing work for a project. I just help make sure that it moves along and help people be on the right path, and then report that information out to senior leaders and other people who want to see where the company is and how we're doing with various projects. But it's also a pretty interesting job, and I work a hybrid job and something that I really actually enjoy. So Mondays and Fridays I typically work from home. Tuesday through Thursday I'm in the office. Before I worked a full 100% remote job, and I found that very disengaging. So Tuesday through Thursday during the day I am definitely not able to do anything whatsoever for content creation or my side businesses. Monday through Friday though, if it's lunchtime or in the morning or right after work where I'm not commuting, I have a bit more time to work on those side businesses. My 9 to 5 also is just a pretty standard work week, definitely a 40-hour-a-week job. I do not have to go crazy like some of my friends who work in investment banking where they're working 120 hours a week, 14-hour days, also on the weekends. That is not the lifestyle that I have tried to get when I'm trying to find a job. Always wanted to work at a company that focuses more on work-life balance so you can have the time to do the stuff outside of work that you want to, which is exactly what I'm doing. And I really don't mind my job. It's actually pretty interesting, and I still find the work pretty engaging, so it doesn't necessarily make me super tired during the day. Maybe it can ebb and flow, and when there's less to do, I can feel somewhat tired. But during those periods where it's maybe less work, I can spend some time writing a script for YouTube, just like the one that I have here, or analyzing properties, or doing some other work so that I'm not just wasting my time or messing around on the internet. So I could be doing something productive rather than just nothing at all. So that's my 9 to 5, and it's really only 40 hours a week. And then outside of that 40 hours a week, there's actually a lot of time left in the day where you can do a lot of things that you want and still treat your body well, sleep well, like those things that I talked about. So the second thing that I'm going to talk about would be my real estate and how I'm able to do that work while also doing the 9 to 5 and content creation. So for me, real estate is a heavy passion of mine. I remember on my very first day at work, I showed up there at 7:30. I was ready to work very, very hard. My boss didn't get there till 10 with my computer, and I was extremely bored. And I knew that this couldn't be the only thing that I ever wanted in my life. Was 40 years of going to a job where there wasn't that much to do, and I was kind of bored. So I took it upon myself to start learning about ways to make more money and things that I could do, and I always kind of had this inkling or passion for real estate that I didn't totally know about, so that's why I got into real estate. And with the very first deal that I did, I bought a duplex where I lived in one unit, rented out the other, completely covered my mortgage and expenses, and I was able to live for free, and then I was completely hooked. But that very first deal took a lot of effort and time. I was probably doing 20 to 30 hours a week of reading, podcasts, networking, analyzing deals, figuring all that stuff out. And then when I actually closed on the deal, because I didn't have enough funds to pay someone else, I started to learn how to renovate. I basically went 9 to 5, got to the property, was there till about 9 o'clock at night, and then went back home to where I was living, made dinner, woke up, went to the gym, did it all over again, and then my weekends were completely at the property renovating. But that didn't last forever. As time has gone on with real estate and I've amassed more funds to be able to pay other tradespeople to do things rather than always utilizing my own time for renovations, things have gotten easier. I've been able to automate more things, and I also just have a better understanding and knowledge about how things work. So with everything, I try to automate it as much as possible, but I find this is a lot easier in a business like real estate. So for example, with my rent collection, I'm not going to drive over to the property and then collect checks from the tenant because that is super antiquated and dumb. Everyone is set up online. I use apartments.com, not an affiliate link or anything, but if you're looking for property management software that's free, apartments.com is great. Everyone can set up their bank account on there, put it on auto pay, and then I receive that money, figure out which account that it should go to, and I have a separate account for each property, and then my mortgage pays from that account that it goes to, and that mortgage is set up to pay on the 10th, because if it's paid after the 15th, then there are late fees, but it takes roughly 5 business days from the 1st for it to get to my bank account, and that's usually plenty of time from when the tenants pay to when I'm able to pay my mortgage, and that's a completely automated process. Some other things that I've automated is I don't need to go to the property in order for someone to actually get in there and do some work. If it's in a tenant specific unit, they're usually there. They can take care of that. If it's a common house area on the outside, obviously no one needs to be there. They can take care of it. And if they need to get into the basement or somewhere else, I have a lockbox and key on site. And most of the tradespeople that I have, I've worked with before. I trust them and I know they're not going to do anything weird. So I'm okay with them having a key and then putting it back. And now if I'm ever very worried, I have a handyman who's a good friend of mine who can go over, change the lock code, and that way I don't have to worry about that specific person being able to get back in. The third job that I have would be content creation, coaching, mentorship programs, all of that good stuff. And it could be multiple jobs, but I usually just lump it into one. And it's where I make videos here on YouTube as well as TikTok and Instagram. I do coaching calls. I also have a mentorship program about buying your first rental. If you're interested, check out the link below. And I also sell digital products and I'm working on creating more courses. And there's just a lot of stuff going on with this specific job. In full transparency, I will say content creation is the one thing that is most mentally draining for me and the hardest. I do really enjoy when I get messages from people who say that the content that I make really helps them, or if I make a sale for my course that I think is super cheap, but that's just where it is, where it's starting, because I'm not a huge name yet. Not everyone is going to trust me. They're still trying to find trust in me. And then those people are part of my program and they appreciate it and really like it. That stuff makes me feel really good. But day in, day out of you just grinding, making TikTok videos, making YouTube videos every week, paying an editor, and you're paying them more money than the amount of money that you're making, really does kind of suck, because you feel like maybe you'll get a bunch of views. Like for example, in this video, maybe I could get 1 million views, but it also might get 10. I'm still paying the editor the same amount of money, and that's just kind of how it goes. And it can be a huge mental suck because of that as well, because it might be like playing the slot machine. You could keep playing it, keep playing it, keep playing it. Nothing is happening, aka you don't hit the jackpot or hit that viral video. But then once in a while, you might hit a viral video, so then you're hooked again, and then you're back at it, and you're always checking the metrics, stuff like that. I've tried really hard to not check the analytics as much, not worry so much about follower count, but just worry about producing good content that will speak to people and actually help people. And it is sometimes a little demoralizing knowing the amount of effort that you put into this and thankless hours, but you keep going because of what it could be. I do have a friend that does this, that's been doing it for a shorter period of time, makes over 6 figures every single month, which is very cool for them. I'm not near that. I'm closer to around $40,000 or $50,000 that I've made in the last almost 2 years now since I've started this side hustle. So I'm kind of at that stage where I could start taking off soon, but I haven't yet. So seeing that someone's doing that, you're obviously a little bit jealous, but it's also a bit of a motivating factor knowing that you can get there. So really for me, this one's kind of like a constant battle. I liken it to, I forget who said this, but if you're getting on a treadmill with someone next to you, you just know that you're not going to get off until you pretty much have your legs give up on you. And that's kind of how I feel and how I've always been. I've never been the best at anything. I've never been the smartest at anything, but I always am constantly just moving forward. And I feel confident that I'm gonna move forward longer than anyone else. I'm not gonna necessarily work harder on every single day than every other person, but I know I just won't stop until I see that thing come to fruition. The third thing I'm going to talk about is mentally how I'm able to stay track and not lose sight of my health and just focus on wealth. So like I said, focusing on health is extremely important, and that's one big reason how I'm mentally able to stay on track. I really prioritize my health. Like I said earlier in the video, I work out a lot, I go for walks, I meditate, I make sure to talk to people that I care about often and talk to loved ones, because that always makes you feel better. I always try really hard to get over grievances you might have with someone so it's not weighing down on you and making you feel stressed. Those are all very important things. And also just letting stuff go. Like if you're driving in traffic, instead of honking the horn at someone, just drive away, because it's really not going to affect you or them. It's just going to be over. So I try really hard to focus on the health aspect of my life so that there's no real issues and things that I have to think about there, almost kind of automating it with my movement and my well-being. And obviously I still try to eat well and drink a lot of water, but it's not like, again, I'm a pro athlete. I'll still drink alcohol, have crappy food from time to time, which is okay, but it's not something I'm constantly doing. Another thing how I'm able to stay on track is just goals and vision. Someone without a plan or goals in mind is just not going to be necessarily as driven or know where they're going. For me, I just want to be a stay-at-home dad who can coach their kids' practice, but also have the family not need to worry about finances because one partner has to be at home and the other has to be at work making money. I want to be able to take control of earning that money so I can do the things that I want with my time and my family. But I'm also not someone who prescribes to lean fire, which, if you're unfamiliar, is just when you have enough expenses to pretty much live, like take care of food and your basic necessities. I'm someone who's more interested in fat fire. I want to have money. I want to have money to enjoy my life. Like, I want the country club membership and to be able to play golf. I don't need a yacht, but I'd like to travel and do fancy and fun things and pay for people's dinner when we go out somewhere cool. I want those things. I also pretty much want to not have to pass on a real estate opportunity or a job opportunity that I find exciting, or do something I want to pursue with my time because I don't have the money to do it. So that is a huge goal of mine, because I want to be able to do all of the things that I want in the time that I have allotted, rather than worrying about where my next paycheck is going to come from so I can pay for that thing. And my last thing that is a huge motivator for me is being able to do stuff with my parents before they're too old. A few years ago, I went hiking in Patagonia with my dad, and that was awesome. They're in their 60s, so they're getting older, and it won't be very long before they might not be able to do that kind of stuff. So the faster I can get to be able to not have to worry about money, not have to worry about what I'm doing with my time, I can hang out with them as much as I want and do as many cool things as I want with them. The last thing that I want to talk about would be the importance of habits. Habits are extremely important. Do you eat dinner and then have dessert? Or do you eat dinner and then have herbal tea because you know that's going to feel better for you? Either way, whichever one you do, your body is going to crave it if you continue to do that for a long enough period. You're essentially going to eat dinner and your body has been conditioned to want to have dessert. The same thing is true for anything you do in your daily life. If you get home from work and then watch Netflix, your body is going to be conditioned to get home from work and watch Netflix. If you get home from work and work on a side business that could potentially change your life, your body is going to be conditioned to get home from work and work on a side hustle that could potentially change your life. As humans, we really just crave routine, so if you can get yourself into these habits that make you feel good, and then when you don't do them, you feel bad, but they're good habits, then that's when you're going to start winning. Okay, that was a very long video, and hopefully I break it down well and you could move around into different chapters and watch what you did or didn't want to, and I really hope it helped at least one person. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't, but I am hoping it did. And this video could get 100 views or it could get 100,000 views, but it will make it all worth it from this content creation perspective of the job that I'm doing if at least one person is able to take this advice or take the things that I do in my life and then help change theirs. And that's really all I care about, helping people change their life, build their wealth, and create the life that they want to live, which is exactly what I'm all about. And hopefully you see that with my transparency and what I typically talk about on my channel. And with that being said, I would really hope it if you would like the video, if you didn't already do that way at the beginning because you appreciate my advice. Also, don't forget to drop a comment down below just to help me for the YouTube algorithm. And you can subscribe if you want to see more content like this, notification bell, all that stuff if you want more content from yours truly. And don't forget to follow me on TikTok and Instagram, where I make a lot of similar content. So thanks for watching, and more wealth is coming your way.